Rise and shine, nerds. Grab your coffee, wipe the sleep from your eyes, and turn up the volume as we help kick off your day with Love Thy Nerd's official weekly nerdy news show. I'm Radio Matt. I'm the Director of Content and Resources for Love Thy Nerd.
And I'm Daedra, your worst nightmare.
We have a fantastic bot in our Twitch chat offering us all kinds of
fun stuff.
nonsense. Let me just block this person real quick.
Sorry, robot.
Somebody already do it? All right. Somebody already did it.
Oh, someone's got your back, man.
Look at you. Look at you, Frost. All right. Well, we've got a show for you today. Later in the show, we're going to be celebrating Halloween by talking about things that scare us.
Yay!
Right now, let's get to our top story. Whew, it has been a year since Elon Musk bought Twitter.
Really?
And so we're going to talk about how it's been going.
All right. A year. Wow.
This is from Engadget.com. Exactly 1 year has passed since Elon Musk, fresh off a months-long legal battle that forced him to buy the company, strolled into Twitter headquarters carrying a sink. I totally forgot about that. Like, he made all these claims that he was going to buy it, and then he started to back out because they weren't, like, handing it over in the condition that he wanted. And so they took him to court basically to force him to continue buying it. That was weird. That's what I learned. You could do that. Like, I thought you could back out of a deal at any point. I didn't know that you...
Probably for some good money he could have backed out.
Yeah. And at the time, we weren't entirely sure what to expect, but there were no shortage of predictions. And I think it's safe to say that it has been messy and chaotic this year. So... Steven said, I feel like everyone agrees it's still just called Twitter. Yeah, I will be referring to it as Twitter. Let's go through. I have a whole list here, and this is a list that I got from this article, from an article on The Verge, and from another article that I don't remember where it's from. But no, it's both of those last two articles from The Verge. So let's start off with all the things that have happened. First thing that pretty much happened right off the bat was Musk fired key members of the leadership, and then 5,000 employees.
Holy heck.
Just wiped out a whole chunk of them. Blue check verifications went from proving you were someone of note or a company to paying for it through Twitter Blue, the subscription service of Twitter. And suddenly, any account could be verified. And this very quickly... cause problems because that meant parody accounts could be verified.
Right.
There were plenty of examples of parody companies trolling as if they were now the actual company and they had the blue check mark, and you can change your name, your profile name to whatever.
Right.
And so there was a fake Nintendo of America with a blue check mark that tweeted out a picture of Mario giving the finger.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
That was a big one. There was one from a company that produces insulin shots saying that insulin is now free for all customers. Big problematic things. Some bigger than others. A cartoon character giving the finger, not as problematic as free insulin lies. Yeah, that's a little bad.
Right.
To fix this problem, those who were already verified were then told they had to start paying the $8 a month or however much it was for Twitter Blue to remain verified. And if they didn't, their verification was
taken
booted.
Off.
Yeah.
Wow.
So actual celebrities and actual companies that didn't want to pony over the dough suddenly were not verified that they're the actual person or company.
Okay.
So you could have a fake company with the blue check mark and the real company without it, or celebrity or whatever. Yeah, that was a mess. So to fix it, there are now 3 kinds of check marks.
Oh my God.
Any organization that purchases a subscription to verified organizations will receive a gold check mark and a square avatar if they're a business or a nonprofit, or a gray check mark and a square avatar if they're a government or multilateral organization. But they are still all paid. Like, you still have to pay for this, and it didn't basically take care of celebrities or anything like that.
Right. Who cares about celebrities?
Who cares? Musk removed the ban on problematic accounts, which brought back Donald Trump, who probably shouldn't have been banned, but also brought back a few hundred legitimate neo-Nazis who probably should have stayed banned.
Oh, dear. I'm so glad that I don't go on Twitter.
So, in an effort to kind of prove that they were not just picking and choosing who they were unbanning, that they were just kind of letting free speech reign, Twitter had banned an account that literally the only thing it does is track Elon Musk's flights. It's public information, but they put it even more public on the Twitter. And it had been going long before Elon Musk bought Twitter. They unbanned it for this mass unbanning. And then he banned it again. Twitter banned all links to Instagram, Mastodon, and other competitors for a brief period of time. So if you posted anything with a link to Instagram, it ain't happening. Then they reversed that ban. Twitter throttled Substack after it introduced its Twitter-like notes product. I'm not sure if that's been reversed or not, but it's been throttled. You know, means you barely see it. If that's in your post, it'll barely come up in anyone's feeds. Musk threatened to sue the Anti-Defamation League. That's a whole different story. The platform seemed to throttle links to some competitors and news sites in August, and then was caught doing it again in September. Musk threatened to show up at Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg's house for their proposed fight and appeared to dox Zuck in a live stream, like give out his address. Several major advertisers paused using Twitter for a long time. While 90% have returned at this point, they aren't spending nearly as much. Advertising is currently 60% down from a year ago.
Wow.
Biggest mistake, got to be the rebrand.
Oh, yeah.
To X.
Why?
First of all, the app looks like a porn app on my home screen, so thank you for that. No one knows what to call it. Every article, every news story that mentions a tweet, it's always like,
X,
formerly Twitter, or Twitter/X, or Twitter, now X. Like, it's so confusing. No one just calls it X.
Yeah, we're not going to refer to it as X.
Because that makes no sense to anybody. X is just a letter, and it's everywhere. We got Xbox, we got SpaceX. We have too many X's. We don't need more. X was big in, like, the early aughts. Extreme everything, you know. Okay. X was great then. X was on brand then. Not today. Twitter was the great brand. Most people awkwardly say both.
Why? Has he said why? X?
He likes X. That's why.
Gosh. Oh my gosh.
He has X in like 3 of his brands, I think, or something like that.
Everybody needs to, like, are you able to tag Elon Musk?
Yeah.
And things?
He won't listen. You
need to find a Sesame Street song about X and tag him in it.
Just tag him with it. The reason, though, the main reason that this was a big mistake, in my opinion, is that we lose the word tweet.
Right.
Tweet was a brand-specific action verb that was in everybody's vocabulary. When all of the Twitter clones started popping up, we still called it like they're tweeting there over on, you know, Truth Social, or tweeting over there on Telegram. You know, all these other apps that came up. We were still calling it tweeting because that's what it was. It was like Skype back before COVID. When you wanted to do a business video call, it was called Skyping.
Right.
And then
right.
Zoom came in and ruined it.
Right.
And Skype's like, how did we not rule during COVID time? We were already in your brain.
Us.
You were using us as the action verb. It was like Kleenex. It was like Coke. Like it was, it was what people called it all.
Right.
And now we're back to just the generic post, which every social media uses.
Right. Right.
It kept the brand in your head, and now it's gone. He also put up a big X logo, light up logo, on the Twitter building without getting a permit and had to take it down. The city forced him to take it down. Musk is offering more subscriptions now to boost your tweets and your replies, which will undoubtedly be abused by crypto scammers and fake companies. One of the big problems right now is that you're seeing tweets from big brands or big celebrities, and the top replies are all like, hey, join our Bitcoin whatever scam thing, instead of having anything to do with what the post was about. Musk wants to make Twitter the everything app for America, which will mirror WeChat in Japan, where that app is used for social media, communication, news, food orders, even banking. But it's also like the number one app in Japan. Everybody uses it, while Twitter is at best number 6 in America. And even when it was in its heyday, it was never anywhere close to being the top one, you know? But yes, he told his employees at the first all-staff meeting last week, since he took over, the first all-staff since he took over, almost a year later. Yeah.
Wow.
That he wants people to use X for all of their banking, as in drop your bank altogether and do everything you normally would do through the X app.
Nope.
That sound like a good idea?
Nope. Nope.
Oh, so yeah.
Do they have banking?
What's going on?
Because I know you have to
It's similar to PayPal.
Okay.
Because he started PayPal too,
Because if you're going to be like a bank, I'm pretty sure you have to get approval for all that.
I mean, there's approval. There's a process, but
You got to have the security systems and everything to do that. Jeez.
I mean, he knows how to do it. He started PayPal. I mean, he could pull it off. PayPal works similar to that too, and there's a lot of creators and stuff that pretty much just use PayPal to hold all their money and go in and out. But I don't feel like that's ideal for a human person to do, especially if you're like involved in, trading or anything like that. Like you gotta have more than just an app to handle your funds. It seems short-sighted. So I don't understand. I don't understand what the man's doing. I had high hopes. Like I felt good when he bought Twitter. I thought, yeah, this would be good. Twitter had gotten a little stodgy. Twitter had gotten a little
Power heavy.
little power hungry. Little free speech light. But no, we went too far. We went too far in believing that Musk wouldn't just be crazy, which he's been crazy in all of his other endeavors too. I don't know. You've seen the Cybertruck. That's a 5-year-old's drawing of a truck. And it exists. It's a real thing. So that's where we're at with Twitter. I don't know what to say about it. It's the craziest situation I've ever seen. It seems like he can just do things at will.
Right.
Just like, hey, I have this idea today, and now it's a feature. Like, it's not like...
Don't they have some sort of policy?
like there are features that came on Twitter that they waited like 5 or more years to roll out. And it really feels like Musk just wakes up and like, hey, I had a dream last night that there were 3 different kinds of check marks. Let's do it. And it's there. The same thing with the logo. It's like, I think he woke up one day and, you know what? I don't like the name Twitter. Let's replace all the birds, which is a logo that everyone in the world recognizes, and make it this generic, weird X. The other thing that's silly is that it's still not X.com. Like, he owns X.com, but it forwards you to Twitter.com. It's still Twitter.com. .com. You can't just change the name of your company like that. There's like legal processes and like SEO that you got to deal with. Like you can't. So even Twitter doesn't know what it is.
He can do what he wants, Matthew.
He can, because he owns it. This is unchecked ownership in motion. You need a check and balance kind of system in your company so you don't become a crazy person. That's what I believe. So anyway, let's move on. Next story.
All right. All right.
This is brilliant. Businesses are trying to outsmart Google search by adding near me to their business name.
Oh.
So back before the internet, when you needed to look up, say, a plumber, you'd open the yellow pages and go to the plumber section, and the first few would be like...
Hold on, what? What are yellow pages?
Shut up. Would be the first few would be like AAA plumbing, or
right.
even quadruple A plumbing,
right?
Because they wanted it to be some form of A's, so they'd be at the very top.
Be at the top.
Be one of the few that you see. We saw that funny TikTok. I forgot that brand. I'm stuck on Twitter. That funny TikTok of the guy reading the company's name off the side of their phone number, 1-800 help. AAA help for it was, I guess, you're stuck on the side of the road, we'll come fix you kind of thing. Anyway, that's how a lot of businesses are still named today, because that's how they set themselves up 20 years ago.
Yeah, we have like A key storage.
They have A keys, and they were specifically named that way for that purpose. Now, companies are starting to name their brands stuff like Thai food near me, dentist near me, notary near me, plumber near me.
Wow.
So when you get on your Google Maps or whatever, and you type out, I need this near me, the likelihood that that's going to pop up grows.
Wow.
Isn't that exciting?
Wow.
So The Verge has this article here asking, does it actually work? So it focuses around a specific Thai food restaurant in New York that named itself Thai Food Near Me. I'm not really going to go into the article because it's a kind of an opinion piece. It goes on. It's a very long piece. But the point is trying to popularize that name in the SEO tools, like to trick Google into automatically giving you that at the top, because that's what it thinks you're searching for, that phrase. And it's a hit or miss thing, but it does appear like if you're close to that business, like within a couple blocks of that business, that's going to be the first one that pops up. Which in New York, which is where this is, because it's such a vertical city, you could have 40 Thai businesses within, a 5-block radius. And so, that would work there. But if you're a mile away, it's not going to pop up in your search feed, at the top anyway. It'll be somewhere down. That's essentially what they found.
Okay.
I would assume, though, in smaller towns,
Right.
like our town, if we had a business, Thai food near me, and I put
fast food near me.
Fast food?
Like, don't even associate yourself with one kind.
Yeah, you risk getting too generic at that point. If you get too generic,
you need to name yourself restaurants near me.
Well, I mean, we have a restaurant that kind of used that philosophy.
Oh, yeah?
Just as a joke, name something different.
Oh.
Because it's always like, what do you want to eat tonight? Yeah, I'm sick of all our normal places. Let's get something different.
Yeah.
And we have something different grill.
Yeah.
They're very popular. But it's not really a search thing. You don't search something different to eat.
Yeah.
But in your mind, that's the kind of thing.
You're thinking something different.
But
they are different.
Yeah. I just find that incredibly smart. It goes on to say, we have a Google rep saying, we don't just give you results based on the words that you type. We have a whole bunch of different information factors that pile together the results for you. So it's not going to just work. You can't just say brand of business near me, and you're going to get the top spot every time.
Right.
But if it works enough,
Sometimes.
that might be enough. Because then it's just up to them to keep that business. You know, it's up if they can get enough people tricked into going to that restaurant just because they're the top list and like, hey, this is fun. All right, let's go try it out. Because that would be fun, right? If you and I were walking through New York and we're like, hey, let's find a bagel shop near me. And, oh, a block away is a place called Bagel Shop Near Me. That's clever.
Right.
We're going to go try it out. So it's up to them now to keep our business.
Right. Yeah.
I think it's a brilliant move. And I'm sure Google will find a way to screw it up for all those businesses that permanently named their business something like that.
Yeah.
Well, now it's time for the solar flare. Here's some quick headlines and commentary for the rest
dear.
of the latest news. Are you ready, Deidre?
No.
Let's go.
College warns to avoid all robots after bomb threat involving food delivery robots.
So have you seen the little food delivery robots? They look like little coolers with wheels.
Oh,
And they
okay.
just drive around. Turned out just to be a massive order of Taco Bell.
Oh, that's funny. Microsoft Edge now makes you take a poll when you try to download Chrome.
It gives you a lot of possible choices as to why you don't want to use Edge, all of which it will try to refute. But none of the options are the real answer. Because Edge is just Internet Explorer in a hoodie holding a skateboard saying, hello, fellow web surfers. It was never cool. We don't want it.
Pause ads creep onto Hulu, Peacock, and Max as streamers seek new revenue without angering customers.
Pause ads. So we've seen those on Peacock.
Yes.
Where we pause the show and an ad will pop up. And it won't be loud, right? It does, have you, any of them had volume?
Nope.
Right. It's just been like a static ad. Quiet ads pop up while you have the show pause instead of adding another 2 minutes of ad breaks. Yeah.
I like it.
More of this, please.
Yes. Oh, where to go? George R.R. Martin finally gives update on penultimate Game of Thrones book, The Winds of Winter.
Penultimate means
Penultimate.
next to last. The update was literally, I know I'm 12 years late. Quit pestering me about it. You'll get it when you get it. 12 years late, and it's not even the last book of the series. At this point, just crap something out. Good or bad, it's got to be better than how the HBO series ended.
He's busy enjoying the money from the other books, okay?
Real.
Leave him alone.
I mean, it's got to feel like a betrayal to everybody who loved the books first. You know? Like all those people, most of those books were already out before the show started. And they were all, well, I read the books first. You're like, well, my show ended before your books did. I'm not sure your books will ever end. You'll never get closure. Last one.
Google paid $26.3 billion to be the default search engine for Apple and other companies.
Which made them over $146 billion that year. It was 2021 in search advertising revenue. I know they are probably an evil corporation that will one day own us all, but I am not using Microsoft Edge or Bing. So, sorry. That wraps up today's news, and we're going to take a quick break.
But when we come back, Matt and I go head to head in some Halloween trivia.
Stick around.
You shouldn't have yelled like that. That was really loud.
Today in Nerd History.
Today's date is October 30th. In 1973, the Punisher first appeared in The Amazing Spider-Man number 129. He was introduced as an assassin hired by the Jackal to kill Spider-Man, who was falsely accused of murdering Norman Osborn. In the year 2000, Jet Set Radio released on the Dreamcast. This action game by Sega features a gang of graffiti tagging inline skaters in a cel-shaded Tokyo. In 2010, Megamind premiered in theaters. This is a movie about a blue alien supervillain who defeats his heroic rival, but then creates a new enemy who turns out to be worse than him. In 2012, Disney purchased Lucasfilm and its rights for Star Wars and Indiana Jones, all for the massive price tag of $4.05 billion. For more nerdy facts about today's entries, visit lovethynerd.com/nerdhistory. Welcome back to Rise and Shine Nerds, LTN's official weekly nerdy news show. I'm Radio Matt.
And I'm Daedra.
Each week, we like to put our nerdy knowledge to the test. Today, Daedra and I will test our holiday nerd knowledge as we go head-to-head in a game of Halloween trivia.
Okay. So is it like trivia on the holiday or like on stuff that's around the holiday? What is it?
A little from column A, a little from column B. I don't really know. I don't look at the questions ahead of time. This trivia game is multiple choice, but we have to keep guessing if we get it wrong, meaning that we can potentially earn 3 X's on each question. Like golf, we're going for the lowest score possible here. Each of us will answer 5 questions. We flipped a coin before we started to see who was going to go first. I get to answer first this week. You have your mouse?
I do.
You ready to go? All right. Bloop.
All right. The first jack-o'-lanterns were made out of what? Coconuts, turnips, pumpkins, or watermelon?
What was the second one again?
Turnips. What?
I like the way you say it. It sounds nice. Turnips.
How are you supposed to say it?
It's probably that. It just, I think I over-enunciate turnips. You know, like turnips.
It's
I know. I'm pretty sure it's turnips.
So what's your answer, Matthew?
I'm pretty sure it's turnips.
Oh, that was your... I thought you were saying...
Oh, the
I'm pretty sure
pronunciation.
it's pronounced turnip. He's correct.
The first jack-o'-lanterns were made in Ireland out of hollowed-out turnips. A piece of coal.
Huh?
Ireland. A piece of coal was inserted into the hollow, and the lantern was meant to guide the way of poor old Jack, who wasn't welcome in heaven, but was also barred from entering hell for tricking the devil. According to legend, the devil gave this crude lamp to Jack so that he could walk the earth forever in limbo. When the Irish brought this tradition to America, they apparently decided that pumpkins were easier to carve than turnips, and the modern-day jack-o'-lantern was born.
Okay, how big were those turnips?
Really small. Small turnips.
Small little turnip with a little piece
bigger,
of coal.
Little bigger than apples.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Halloween is generally considered to have evolved from what ancient festival? Astara, Lammas, Beltane, Samhain. I don't know any of
So
them.
that last one is actually pronounced, despite how it's spelled, it's pronounced Sawam,
Oh, that makes sense.
and that's the one.
Because it's Irish. Because
No, I think it's Celtic.
Things different.
Celtic.
Yep.
Although there are many theories on the origin and history of Halloween, it's generally accepted that Halloween dates back to an ancient Celtic festival known as Samhain, or the Celtic New Year. Oh, we don't need to go through the history.
Yay.
If you want to know the history, there's a fantastic article on lovethynerd.com called Redeeming Halloween, The Love of Jesus and Full-Size Candy Bars by Craig Nash. It's a good article.
Cool. According to legend, a unibrow, tattoos, and a long middle finger are all signs of what Halloween creature? Golem, vampire, werewolf, or witch?
Unibrow, tattoos, long middle finger. It's a golem. I'm only thinking of Gollum
Right.
from Lord of the Rings. Is that what a golem is?
I don't know.
Tattoos? Long middle finger? Witches' fingers are a thing that, that's always part of the costume. Is that? But they don't have
witchy
unibrow.
fingers.
Well, they might have. Yeah, they got ugly faces.
That's true.
Big
they have
warts on their
tattoos?
nose. Do they have tattoos? Well, maybe
An ankle
witchy.
tattoo?
No. Maybe like pentagrams or whatever. You know, like
Scary
magic stuff.
Scary prison tats. Yeah.
I'll say witch. Come on. Gollum then. Gollum.
Oh.
Come on.
Ooh. Vampire or werewolf?
Do vampires have unibrows?
Edward or...
Jacob? Edward or Jacob? Werewolf then.
Werewolf. That was what I thought it was.
Okay. According to legend, a unibrow tattoos hairy palm. Well, I didn't say hairy palms. I would have said hairy palms. I would have guessed werewolf. The long middle finger are signs of a werewolf. Other common traits include unusual strength, an irrational fear of water, and glow-in-the-dark red eyes.
Okay.
Glow in the dark.
The unibrow, I figured, okay, maybe werewolf because they're hairy. Yeah.
So did you just shine me on when I was talking about witch? Oh, yeah. Sounds exactly like a witch.
I withheld my thought.
Dare you. Gaslit me into getting the wrong one.
In what century did the practice of trick-or-treating begin? 16th, 20th, 14th, or 18th? Wow.
This is
that's
impossible.
a terrible question. That's awful.
Unless the witch is Bulgarian.
He's reading the chat.
Witch.
Come on.
14th century.
So easy.
14th. 16th century. All right.
All right.
In North America, trick-or-treating began to develop as a Halloween tradition during the 1920s. But the European tradition of going house to house collecting food at Halloween goes back at least as far as the 16th century.
Collecting food. Okay.
All right. Last one. I got 3 X's already.
Matthew.
I don't like this.
Which of the following is not a term for a scarecrow?
Gosh.
Bwabak, gallybagger, mockin, doodle sack. Come on, which one?
I've never heard of any of these.
Bwabak?
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 It might be Bubik. Because didn't W used to be a double O sound for some words? I remember our friend Dakota.
I don't even know English rules. Okay.
This is English. I remember our friend Dakota discovered that in high school and really went to town with putting W's instead of double O's in words for a while. It was the nerdiest, weirdest thing. But we went along with it.
We did it. So, Bubak.
Don't say that word. Yeah, these all sound a little inappropriate. Bubik, gallybagger, mockin, doodle sack. Doodle sack just sounds too silly. I'm going to say doodle sack.
Oh.
A wide range of alternative names for scarecrows, including Hodmedod, Mermit, Hey Man, Gallybagger, Tatty Boggle, Mommet, Mockin, and Boobich. Boobach, Boobik, Boobak, Boobach. I don't know. Doodle sack is an old English word for a bagpipe. That is what it should be called. It's a sack that goes...
From now on. From now on, I'm calling bagpipe doodle sack.
That guy in the kilt's playing the doodle sack. All right, Deidre. I've got 3 X's.
Yay.
So you have a chance
Was it just 3?
to destroy me. Yes, it was just 1, 2, 3. See? Just 3.
We didn't go all the way up to...
It was just 3. I got the first 2 right.
All
The
right.
last one right.
All right.
All right, Deidre. Here we go.
Oh, dear.
From base to point.
Oh, crap.
What is the order of colors on a piece of candy corn?
Okay, this is embarrassing because I'm a candy corn this year.
Yes, you are.
I'm a candy corn. I wore a candy corn outfit very recently.
Can I read the answers?
Oh,
Is
yeah,
it
go ahead.
Yellow, orange, white, orange, white, yellow, white, orange, yellow, or orange, yellow, white? Why Miss Candy Corn? We need an answer.
Good gracious. I know. Oh, wait, it's saying from what? From base
From base
to point.
to point.
Well, I know
Big to little.
orange is the base. I'm going to say orange, yellow, white. No, what?
Orange is not the base.
Yes, it is. Are you just saying that so I won't pick the other one that's orange, white, yellow?
Maybe I'm gaslighting you, unibrow.
Oh, goodness.
What do you think it is? Come on. You got 3 other options.
White, orange, yellow. I have no idea what it is.
Base to point. Come on now.
Yellow, orange, white.
There we go. Corn is on the outside, like a corn cob. So the yellow is on the out. Yellow, orange, white is a progression of standard candy corn. The Indian corn variation is brown at the widest edge. All right.
Well, this is going great.
That's fantastic. That is embarrassing, Major, because you wore the costume last week.
I know, and I'm probably going to wear it today and Sunday and on Halloween. And now every time I wear it, I'm going to be angry.
I wonder if yours does have orange on the bottom, though, on your costume.
I don't know. I don't even know.
I'm wondering if they went darkest to lightest color on your costume.
I wore it,
now.
and I don't even know. I feel like I hope that they went with the candy corn colors, but I don't.
Anyway, which of these Halloween films was not directed by Tim Burton?
Okay.
Frankenweenie, Corpse Bride, Beetlejuice, or The Nightmare Before Christmas? Which film was not directed?
Frankenweenie, Corpse Bride, and The Nightmare Before Christmas are all that weird claymation crap that he does.
Stop motion, yes.
So I'm going to go with Beetlejuice. Frankenweenie.
Oh.
Corpse Bride? Did he not?
Oh.
What the heck?
The Nightmare Before Christmas was produced and conceived by Tim Burton, but it was directed by Henry Selick.
Foul. That is a bunch of bull-loney.
I would have had the exact same outcome as you if this was my question. I would have thought of all 4 of those. Nightmare Before Christmas was definitely directed by Tim Burton.
Yes. Okay.
Oh, I don't have the camera on you. I need the camera on you. Oops.
I watched a trailer last night with the boys on Nightmare Before Christmas to see if Johnny was anywhere near being able to watch it yet.
I'm not even near one.
Absolutely not. No. He's not. But Eli's interested.
Yeah.
And it was like from the mind of Tim Burton. So I was like, it's obvious. I know. It said it in the trailer.
That's so funny. All right. What might you bob for on Halloween? Pumpkins, sweet potatoes, Snickers, or apples?
It had better be apples.
Bobbing for apples is a traditional Halloween game in which a tub of large base that is filled with apples and water. Because the apples are less dense than the water, they will float to the surface. Players then try to catch one with their teeth.
I feel sad that our children aren't going to ever do that.
Why?
Because COVID ruined that game.
Oh, yeah.
You ain't going to be putting your face where everyone else's face is.
Can't do that. You can't put your face with my face.
And like licking an apple someone else might have. Yeah, look at it. I remember bobbing for apples.
Yeah, that's disgusting. I'm just realizing
at a church.
Bah, set it up anyway. No, I'm really just realizing that, they didn't take out the apples that you licked and tried to suck into your mouth and missed.
Oh.
How many people have I never bobbed for apples in my life. No, I did one time. I remember doing it one time.
I remember bobbing for apples, and then my friend at church had dressed up like a clown, and his mom, I'm sure, had spent an hour on his face painting it, and it was just ruined after.
Oh, and then there was paint in the water?
Right, yeah.
All right, 2 more questions. If you want to keep spirits out of your home on Halloween, what should you sprinkle on your doorstep? Sage, garlic, salt, or holy water?
Jeez. Any of those sound good to me.
Yeah, sound like that'll work.
Yeah.
Except maybe sage. Or salt. Salt is for...
No.
snails.
No, I'm thinking salt.
You thinking salt? Isn't that for snails?
It's in Hocus Pocus. They do a circle of salt.
Okay. I've never watched the movie all the way through. Because it sucks. According to tradition, salt can be laid around the boundaries of a room to prevent spirits and demons from entering.
Poor Thane says depends on what you want to keep out.
That's true.
That's true.
I do not like slugs, so let's keep those salt rims out there. Lastly, what classic horror film is based on a true story? The Blair Witch Project, Poltergeist, Halloween. That's the one with Freddy.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry. That's one with Jason. Freddy's Friday the 13th. And the Amityville Horror.
I don't even know what that is. Let's go with Poltergeist.
Nope.
The Amityville.
The
The Amityville Horror.
Correct.
Okay.
Amityville Horror is based on the alleged experience of the Lutz family, who bought a new home on 112 Ocean Avenue in Amityville, New York, a house where a mass murder had been committed the year before.
Jeez.
There was a I'm sorry, that's one more X for you. I win, by the way. That's 3-6.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got 6.
Of course you do. I think everyone knows that.
Destroyed ya. Destroyed ya. There was a Reddit question. People are in a weird situation. They go to Reddit. They say, "Am I in the right or in the wrong?"
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
This guy is soon to be married to a woman who has a teenage daughter already. A few years ago, they lost their father. He passed away. The mother had to go across country because her mother was on the verge of dying. Asked if the daughter could stay with the soon-to-be husband so she would miss school. As they're going about their life, she's walking along the street one day, and one of the neighbors stops her and says, "Oh, you're living in that house?" and tells her all about a grisly murder that happened there 10 years ago in that house.
Oh my gosh.
And she comes home and tells her soon-to-be stepfather. He goes, "Well, yeah, I knew about it. That's how I got this house so cheap. It's a really nice house, and I was able to get it cheap." And he didn't see the problem with it. He's like, am I in the wrong?
Yes. Yes, you are.
We don't even know how the person died. It could have just been a poisoning. There might not have been any blood or anything anywhere. But I'm I don't know. How cheap was the house, though? How nice is it? It got me really thinking of,
Would I
how
do it?
murdery of a murder would I be okay with for a really nice house for not a lot of money?
Oh my gosh.
We could just wall up the room, that's the room we don't go into. That's the room with the spirits.
Oh yeah.
Nope, get a priest, burn some sage, you're fine. Fantastic.
Oh god.
Oh man. All right. Well, that was our quiz, y'all. Halloween quiz. That wraps up our trivia battle this week.
We're going to take another short break, but don't go anywhere.
Up next, we are going to be talking about our fears.
Yay.
For spooky times. So stick around.
What if I told you there's more than 3 billion gamers on the planet? What if I told you that we're sending missionaries into almost every culture and every country and every language on the planet except one of the largest and most unreached people groups in the world? And that world is the world of gaming and nerd culture. With the rise of things like Stranger Things and the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Dungeons and Dragons, Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, Harry Potter, you name it, nerd culture has been on a rise for dozens of years. And it has outgrown Christianity by almost 1 billion people My name is Mark, and I am the lead and founding pastor of Lux Digital Church. My wife and I ministered in Pittsburgh for 11 years, and then 2 years ago started an entirely online church that reaches people in the digital gaming community. We now have a church family that is spread across almost 16 time zones all across the globe, and we get the opportunity every single day to actively engage in deep, impactful relationships with people, to see them not only come to know Jesus, but also to grow up and become more like Jesus. I am incredibly passionate about the church learning how to engage the next generation, and the next generation, spoiler alert, are mostly gamers. When Jesus says to go and love your neighbor, well, statistically, if your neighbor is a teenager or younger, if they are Gen Z or Gen Alpha, statistically, your neighbor is a nerd or a gamer. And for the most part, the church has little to no idea about how to actively engage with those subcultures. And they're not even becoming subcultures. They're mostly just our culture, which is why us at Lux Digital Church and also our friends over at Love Thy Nerd are putting together something called the Nerd Culture Ministry Summit this upcoming November in Marble Falls, Texas. It's a chance for you as a pastor and your team to come and learn how to actively engage in an impactful and meaningful way with a group of people that the church has largely ostracized, told their hobbies are stupid, or mostly totally and completely forgotten about. The only way to actively engage with them and to tell them about the life-giving gospel is to build relationships with them through the things that they love. And most of those people, well, they love video games and board games and tabletop RPGs. And we want to teach and train you on how to actively get into that community. So we're gathering together nerd culture ministry leaders and nerd culture ministry missionaries, and we're pulling them together in one space for one summit to teach the church how to engage with this culture, to build bridges between church culture and nerd culture. It's going to be in Marble Falls, Texas this November. I hope to see you there. Make plans to be there. Go to ncmsummit.com and get registered today. It's inexpensive and a great opportunity for you and your team to learn how to connect with the next generation in a way that goes beyond just another pizza night. I'll see you there.
Welcome back to Rise and Shine Nerds, LTN's official weekly nerdy news show. I'm Radio Matt.
And I'm Dater.
Tomorrow is Halloween, and we are going to be celebrating by sharing some of our worst fears. Mostly irrational, or at least mostly unrealistic or unlikely fears. Maybe some real ones. And we just got a raid from we got a weird they have a whole planned out thing they're repeating. Let me see who it was. Ken Chong 22 just rated with 10 viewers. Thank you so much,
hey.
Ken Chong 22.
Welcome.
We are talking about fears today. Welcome, Raiders. Stick around if you like. Give us a follow if you'd like. We're going to talk about some spooky fears that we have. We're just getting started with that discussion. So welcome in. All right. So we're going to go back and forth, you and I, first of all.
Okay.
And then we have a whole bunch from our Discord chat. So we're going to go through those too.
Cool.
So first one for me has been the biggest one my whole life. And that's clowns. I am not run screaming in panic from clowns kind of scared. It's more like the opening scenes of that first episode of Modern Family where we see Phil reacting to Cam being a clown at the birthday party. He's just kind of several yards away, always has his eye on him, kind of, but not like running in fear. He starts running in fear towards the end, but at the beginning, that's where I sit. I'm just just keep your distance. You know,
you're fine. I know you're just a man in a costume, but
I know you're just here to entertain children. I don't want any problems. You don't come near me, I won't come near you. But it's because when I was a kid, my brothers, who were the middle one is 10 years older than me. Older one is 13 years older than me. They both sat me down and forced me to watch it. And then I'm pretty sure I recently remembered one of them also made me watch at least a scene from Killer Clowns from Outer Space, which I kind of forgot existed until recently. Thank you, Funko Pop. I guess, for reminding me of this trauma that I had. But I was like 5
Yeah.
at the time.
Yeah, that's
And
ridiculous.
So yeah, that ruined clowns for me. So thank you so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
What about you?
Is this where I bring up spiders?
Sure, you can
Yeah.
bring up spiders.
Spiders. The kids know that I'm scared of spiders.
Hey, you killed what was likely a brown recluse the other day with minimal screaming. I was very proud of you. You didn't even ask me to get up and help. I thought you were just killing a tiny little thing that was crawling up the wall. But
it was giant. It was giant. Yeah.
you didn't tell me.
I do a couple irrational things because of my fear of spiders. Yeah.
What are those?
Well, one time when we first married, so however many years that was,
Almost 20.
there we go. A spider had gotten on my towel in the bathroom and bit me on the stomach.
That's right. I remember that.
So now I cannot use a towel coming out of the shower without shaking it.
18 years later,
18
shaking
years later,
every towel.
I'm shaking the towel. And now all of you get to shake your towels because, yes, that happened to me.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
And then the other one's shoes.
Shoes make sense.
Yeah, if I haven't used a pair of shoes in a while, grabbing it from the closet, I shake the shoes out.
It makes sense. That's not irrational at all. JC Phenom says it scared the poo out of me when I was a child. Yeah. I don't even remember all that much from it. I remember seeing the clown. I remember the gross teeth part. I remember the sinks of some filling up with blood, balloons popping with blood splatter. Maybe a library. I don't remember a lot from it. I've never watched it as an adult, but I'm remembering just bits and pieces. Core Thane says, my wife and I made a pact about our fears. I take care of all the spiders, and she's in charge when it comes to all roaches. Ooh.
I don't want either of those.
Yeah. I have them both. All right. Some of mine come from dreams that I had a lot as a child, and my brothers also trolled me as a child and told me if you have the same nightmare 3 times, that means it's going to come true.
Good gracious.
Fully believe that.
Good
Fully believe that.
gracious.
So I dreamed
He had terrible brothers.
3 separate times because we had a. I was going to say like we were wealthy when I was a kid. We weren't wealthy. We were in a lot of debt, but we had a full on swimming pool, like a Olympic swimming pool in our backyard. Mm-hmm. And I dreamt many times that I jumped into that pool and it was suddenly full of sharks.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I dreamt it. After the 3rd time I dreamt it, I was terrified to go in the water for several months at least. Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
And I'm going to jump in my other dream.
Okay.
My other dream, which I still vividly remember this dream. I was maybe 10 or 11. I had just recently figured out that sometimes in your dreams you can control what you do. You know, like sometimes it's like a video game. And this was one of those dreams where I was in this weird, it kind of felt like a Godzilla movie, like you're running through the street and Godzilla's chasing you and bashing down buildings or whatever. I'm running from my mother who as she's running and chasing me is grabbing like babies and eating their heads. And she's got like a white baby and she bit into the white baby's head and the white baby's head was like bread. You could see it pull apart like bread. And she grabbed a black baby, and black baby's head was like a chunk of chocolate. You could see the chocolate pieces off. And I'm just running in fear. And then I'm like, as I'm running, remembering, hey, I can control this, what I'm doing. And I turn around and I'm like, I'm going to wake up. And so I close my eyes really hard. And then I'm like blinking. And I'm literally waking myself up. And I can see like half Dream up in this corner and half my closet down in this corner across the room. And I'm just like, come on, she's almost here. Come on, blinking really fast to get up. And I get out of it. It was so weird. It was like I was actually running from a nightmare in real life.
Wow.
It was very strange.
I really want
A lucid dream. Yeah, I think that's what that's called.
Sure.
That sounds right. Let's say yes.
I really want to dive deep into
Ken
the
Chong
psychological component of you
Yeah.
dreaming that you're running from your mother.
I never really escape. Oh. All right, your turn. I've got one more after this.
Oh gosh, I didn't prepare a list.
You were supposed to.
You didn't tell me.
I
make
literally
a
did.
list.
I literally said. Come
You
up with
said
a
we're
bunch
going to
of
talk
these.
about our fears. I'm like, okay.
Well, you would assume you meant more than one.
I'm afraid of the dark.
Huh?
I don't like being in the dark. I pretend not to be for the children.
We had several years of marriage without children. I don't recall you ever being afraid of the dark.
Did I ever just walk around in the complete dark?
No, but who does?
Why? Because we're all afraid of the dark.
I don't think I'm afraid of the dark.
All right, sir. I'm going to make you walk around this church in complete
I
darkness.
have walked around this church in complete darkness many times as the janitor.
And you get creeped out and you bring your little stick with
Only
you.
when there's a noise.
I'm not afraid of the dark. I'm afraid
I'm
of the
afraid
noises
of what's in the dark. Okay?
Oh my gosh, that's a song. That's a song.
It is. I'm not afraid of the dark. I'm afraid of what's in the dark that I cannot
There
see
you go.
because it's
That
so dang
song
dark.
speaks to me. Yeah.
I love that song. Rhett and Link, everybody. Back when they weren't problematic. All right, so the other one that I have is heights, which is,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I say new, but I've been saying new for a long time.
But you're old now.
It's not one that I had as a kid. As a kid, my mom would like have to grab me by the shirt so I wouldn't fall off of high places. But then Deidre and I were walking
It's my fault.
on like a cliff slide thing at a campground by the lake.
Campground. Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't all that high, maybe a story high. Like I'm looking at the wall here in our office, like it might have been that high, maybe a little higher. And Deidre, we were dating, so we were really
I feel
young,
like we were climbing
teenagers.
up it.
No, we were just walking around it. Like we had climbed up and we were just walking like on the edge. There was like a nice little path of rock. We're walking on the edge and Deidre, that was Buddy System, wasn't it? Sorry, yeah. Deidre slipped and friggin' fell right off.
See, I'm recalling I'm climbing up it and I
You were
slipped
not
and fell
climbing up
backwards.
it. I promise you. We were walking because I've always thought in my head, if only we had been holding hands while we were walking, I could have saved your life. She falls, and I mean falls. And the
I landed
whole
flat
fall
on my back.
on your like tailbone, right?
No, I landed on my back.
Was it on
and
your
got
back?
the wind knocked out of me.
That's right. That's right. Anyway, she falls for what was probably a second and a half. Like it was, bump. Me, I remember this taking 15 minutes for her to fall. Like I just see in the slowest of motions her falling and me having her life flash before my eyes. Like this is it. This is how she dies. I'm never going to be the same as a human being.
Thinking about himself.
Like I'm remembering things that I know didn't happen too. Like I'm remembering you like flipping several 360s in the air as you fall. That did not happen. I know that because I have both memories. I have the real memory and the fake memory that my brain plays up dramatically to make me afraid. But anyway, ever since then, I will get vertigo if there's a possibility, a realistic possibility that I could fall off of something high. So if we're in an unenclosed structure where, I mean, I would even have to probably be like hoisted up and thrown over something. Like I couldn't just slip and fall out. But if there's not like a glass partition keeping me from falling, I cannot more than a second look over the edge.
Go up to the edge. Yeah.
But if I am in a glass enclosure, thank you for that follow. If I'm in a glass enclosure, like we went up on the Albuquerque tramway and that's above mountains, several thousand feet.
Right. And you're just in a
Pointy
box.
cliffs. I will be
string.
up against that glass going, "Whoa, it's so cool," because I feel safe there for some reason. But yeah, it's very strange.
I will say, I did not think I'm afraid of heights. But then we went to Wonderland Park, where they've got, all these different rides. And they're like a small amusement park. And
Yeah.
they have the ski lift thing
Right.
where you're sitting on the seat and you just slowly go around and look at everything. I am now terrified of that as an adult. I don't know why.
I went on that a couple years ago,
And you went on it and
and I
went
was
on-
fine.
And we were like, I think I was with Johnny and you were with Eli.
I was.
And the whole time I'm thinking, there's no seatbelt, there's nothing.
There's a bar.
Child,
There's a locked bar. But the child could slip through.
my
But you
child
couldn't
could
slip
just
through.
fall right off of this. And I'm looking at this tiny little thing that's attached to the string. And I'm like,
It's a string.
that could easily fall off. We could
The
easily
industrial
just
cable.
be dropped to our death. And every time it clicked over one of those poles, oh my gosh, I'm just,
This is it. This is where it derails.
I'm like, here it goes.
We just fall. No,
Yeah. What if it got off of its little thing? I was looking and I'm like, it's not a circle. It's not in a circle around this. There's a hole. There's an opening that it could slip off of. I didn't go on it last time.
Yeah. For me, for some reason, that one doesn't bug me. The lap bar that locks in is enough security for me
Nope.
that I don't get vertigo on that one.
Nope.
I was afraid I was going to,
Yeah.
and I know Eli really wanted to go on it,
Yeah.
and so I went on it with him, and it didn't bug me whatsoever.
I was avoiding it with them.
Maybe I was just too focused on making sure Eli didn't slip out. That might have been it. I don't know.
Maybe.
But either way, it worked.
Nope.
And I kind of want to go on it again. All right. Well, we asked our Shinies to share with us their fears over on the Discord. If you want to be a part of the discussion pre the show, in the week before the show, you can join us at lovethynerd.com/Discord. And when you join up in the channels and channels and categories section, just click on Rise and Shine Nerds to see that section in your feed. Pardon me. We got quite a few here, so let's kind of tear through them.
All right.
Toffee says, I'm scared. This is a great one. Exactly what I was looking for. I'm scared that every time I use a porta potty, I think someone's either going to come and tip it over or like a crane will pick it up and whisk me away.
Never had that fear.
I have had that fear many times that someone's going to come tip it over. It's pretty much any time I've ever had to use it for a long bathroom visit, we'll say, which has been few and far between. I think maybe only twice in my life has that had to happen. But I've been afraid, if someone just decides to, hey, I'm going to cause chaos, knock this over, because it's usually like at a public event where there's 1,000
Right.
people and know
Right.
there's crazy
A rowdy
person.
group of teenagers could totally.
Flip it over. I'd want to die right there. Ragnar says, when I was little, I once had a nightmare about a witch who put lemons on the ceiling. I asked, was there a reason that they put the lemons on the ceiling? Nope.
So, are they afraid of lemons too now?
Only if they're growing from the ceiling. Only high lemons. Captain MDB says, I was under the impression as a child that quicksand was much more common, and I was terrified that one day I was going to get stuck in a sandbox and never escape. Like, how do they know if it's quicksand or regular sand? Can regular sand become quicksand? How deep will it go into the Earth's crust?
I was scared of quicksand. Yep.
That was in every movie.
Yeah, it's
As a
because
kid,
it's
right?
because of the movies.
And like,
Have I ever come across it in real life? No.
And even people who do, it's like you don't sink your whole freaking body into it. You'll go a foot deep, at the most. It's weird. Cynical says, I have a fear of people recognizing my shoes after I leave a public restroom. Because of this, I frequently use the handicap stall because the toilet is so far from the door.
That's awesome. I have very recognizable shoes. People would definitely recognize my shoes.
So I do have to have a long bathroom visit. Pretty much at every gas station, or not every gas station, but pretty much at a gas station every time we're on a trip.
Right.
I have a gallbladder, and it causes me to have to go usually pretty quickly. So I'm still afraid of, like, I'm in the toilet, okay? I'm in the toilet. Everyone knows there's only one reason, that you're in the stall.
Right.
I'm afraid of people judging me for pooping. And so I will sit there and I will wait for someone to activate the hand dryer so I can, like, quick! It's the last helicopter out of Vietnam. Let's go. Like, I love the big accelerator hand dryers, loud jet stream air thing, because those are so loud
They are.
that I'm not even scared at all at that point. I'm like, but what do I think's gonna happen? I'm gonna poop really loud, and then someone's gonna be waiting on me. Like,
For shame, sir.
You?
For shame.
How dare you? I was having a birthday party in here. I don't understand where the fear is coming from. Everybody poops, babe. Everybody poops.
I have to tell our son that. He hates pooping.
It really does. Let's not get into that.
Yeah.
Ragnar says, probably my biggest slightly irrational fear are wasps, hornets, and yellow jackets. Used to be honeybees and bumblebees too, but after a lot of beekeeping videos, I'm more comfortable around them. But I'm afraid I'm allergic to their stings like my dad. Ooh, so you don't even know if you're allergic or not. You just have the fear.
Yeah.
I am very terrified of all things that can sting. I will run like a little baby, like a little scared baby, if there is a wasp or a bee in the area.
Johnny got stung last year
Yeah.
by a bee. It landed on his neck and he went,
On his freaking throat.
yeah. So he had a nice big old,
Well,
whatever that is. Yeah. Well, there we go.
No, thank you. No, thank you for that. Senecal chimed in on that, says, my wife has a very irrational fear of stinging butts. Butts with stingers.
Yeah.
There was once a wasp in our master bedroom, so she shut the bedroom door, then abandoned the house and went to the neighbors until I got home to kill it. Tad Hall says, I used to be scared of turning into a robot. As a kid, I would have these consistent nightmares that the world around me was infected by a robot virus. And if you were touched by someone who had it, you would turn into a robot and forever repeat the last minute of your actions.
Oh my goodness. That's very specific.
Freddie to the cow over here in chat says, when cockroaches fly at you. We don't have a lot of flying cockroaches around here. Thank the Lord. Also, my goodness, our house we bought a few years ago now.
Been
Yet,
like 7
yeah, a lot. Well, yeah.
or 8 maybe. Yeah.
You were pregnant with Johnny.
No, I wasn't.
You weren't?
No. Because everyone was teasing us about, oh, the extra room. You're going to get another baby. And then we did.
Just weren't even pregnant already.
Was it?
Anyway, we haven't had a cockroach.
Yeah.
It's the first house I've ever lived in with no cockroaches. Plenty of spiders, no cockroaches.
Yeah.
Which
The wolf spiders like to come in
they love
when
it.
it starts getting cold and it drives me nuts.
They do. Robot virus, though. That's the first. That's the
That's
first
like a movie.
for me. Yeah.
That sounds like absolutely
That's
a movie.
terrifying. KY Redhead said, there's always potential for a venomous spider to be lurking in the toilet paper roll when I reach for a new one.
Great. Thank you so much for that.
So I have to grab it from the outside, the paper part. And also inside lamps, you have to reach up underneath to turn on. She said, did this fear begin sometimes after I watched Arachnophobia when I was 12? Guess we'll never know. Also, the same thing inside wall-mounted TP dispensers and porta potties, but that is no longer irrational, as it finally happened to me once.
Oh.
My years of hypervigilance paid off, though, both enabling me to escape unharmed and validating my decades of paranoia.
So, it wasn't spiders, but one of the last times we went camping with my mom, she was in the public restroom. Like, we had gone up the mountain, and
Like the
there
gross
was
campground restroom that's
yeah,
cleaned
no, it
once
wasn't
every
even
month.
the campground one that gets cleaned often. It was like the one up on the mountain, like not by any campsites. And she's
No, thank you.
using the facilities because it was a long drive up there. And she just starts screaming in there, just wah, wah, and then laughing. And we're like, what's going on? Apparently, a bunch of moths had decided to sit in the little toilet paper dispenser roll. And so when she started dispensing, they all flew out. So imagine you're sitting on the potty and just all these moths.
Why
And-
does she laugh?
Because it was funny.
Just 'cause it was funny?
Because it was funny.
Like, this is a comedic moment.
Yeah,
this
she was
is a
like,
story.
oh my God. You know, if I had been, that's one of my irrational fears, moths. If I had been in there, I would not have laughed. And I was very
climbed
thankful.
inside the toilet.
She was the first one to use
And
the
lived
potty. Yeah.
HD Amanda says, I'm afraid to run over snakes on the road because what if they end up in the car somehow?
Oh, yeah, I've had that thought.
What?
Yeah.
How would it end up in the car?
Gets rolled up on the tire and then it gets in your engine and then it comes to you.
comes through your air conditioning
It's like
unit.
it knows you're in there and it knows how to get to you.
You squish my tail, I'm coming. Now I'm flatter and I can get in here.
Yeah.
Slots
Yeah.
of your air conditioner.
Absolutely.
Come on now.
I'm with you.
Captain MDB says, that's why you speed up. Make sure to kill him. Silver says, spiders in my recliner, but that's not irrational because it happens all the time. She also says, silly, but also something I generally keep quiet is that I have a serious fear of balloons. Always have. No idea why. I'm terrified of them popping. I even avoid the giant balloon sculptures at Gen Con. I use my sister's latex allergy as an excuse to not have balloons at my son's birthday parties.
Wow. Our daughter has become scared of balloons recently because
Because of the popping?
the popping. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She-
We had that filler stuff from the Amazon package. You know, the big pop
Oh,
things.
yeah.
And we usually pop them and then throw them away. And I grabbed it and she was eating lunch one time and I just popped one, not thinking. I wasn't like trying to be funny or whatever. And she just like immediately started tearing up. I'm like, oh gosh, no, I'm sorry. I won't. It was just this thing. And then she's just like staring at me and I'm like, here, I'll do it a lot slower and quieter. And I'm doing the other ones. And she's just staring at me, waiting for a pop to happen. I'm like, goodness gracious.
Yeah, it's very recent. It was because one popped right in her face.
Yeah, that would do it.
Yeah. And so she's like, nope. But she at least will be in a room with balloons. She just doesn't want to hold one anymore.
Just want to hold one.
Yeah.
And then Silver also said, I also upturned my shoes, especially my boots, before I put them on because I'm terrified there will be a spider in them. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. Makes sense. Last one we have is Seal the Centurion says, this is a more recent phobia that I've developed. Being a big guy, I'm always terrified of going into small spaces. Like one time in a cave, there was this point where you had to crawl through in order to get to the next chamber. And no matter how safe they told me it was, I wouldn't do it. Basically afraid of becoming Pooh Bear stuck in Rabbit's hole or at that point something would happen and I'd be crushed. I won't crawl in crawl spaces or anywhere that is crapped. I don't think that's what I meant to say. Cracked maybe, or has no easy way out. Yeah. Okay. So there is an episode of The Simpsons where they go to Krusty's water park or whatever. It's a very early episode. And Homer Simpson goes down one of those slides, the tubed slides, and gets stuck. And they're like, hey, there's a jam in, tube 7 or whatever. Send more kids down. That'll dislodge it. That is like, I'm not, I'm a big dude. If you're listening on audio and you've never seen the video, I'm a big dude. Not as big as a tube.
Right.
And it's never stopped me. Like, you and I have gone. There was a water park in Albuquerque for a brief period of time that we went to. And we went down the slides. I had no problem with that. It wasn't a fear that kept me from doing it. But it was always in the back of my mind, just a little bit. Like, what if you get stuck? Now, there have been water slides, tubed water slides like that, that rely on your momentum.
And you
where you're supposed to go up. And if you don't have enough momentum, you get stuck in like the middle of the slide. That is frightening. Because I only see the reports that it happened, and I never see how they got it out. How do they get you out?
You scoot your legs.
But you can't. It's up. You can't scoot up.
That's when they send more kids down.
That's terrible. That would be, if anything, that would keep me from doing water slides. The fear of like not making it to the bottom of the slides.
What I don't like is the ones that aren't a full tube. And you see the videos of them like going up and around, and it's just the half pipe.
Yeah.
And they're getting really close to just...
And that's happened a few times too.
See,
yeah.
I'm not going to do any of it. I want the full tube. I don't want any possibility of being flipped out.
Right.
In not the right spot.
If there's going to be...
And they're always on mountains, like big mountains.
If there's going to be a portion of the slide that's not a full tube, that's just a half pipe, it's got to be straight.
Right, yeah.
It's just during the straightaway, hey, you can see everybody else for a second, and then back into the tube.
Give me a clear tube. I don't even want... Nope.
I have gone all the way around the tube before, like 360.
Right.
I do not want the risk of flying out the side and then just falling down a mountain.
Or those really steep slides where you're like... in the air
where you
of
like
it.
lift
Oh
up off the
gosh.
thing and then smack into it halfway down. No, thank you. All right, I think we've talked enough about our fears. Thank you to our Shinies and to our chatters for giving us some of your fears to share. We're going to take another short break, and then we're going to wrap up our show.
We'll end with a little nostalgia. Stick around.
Hey fam, this is Hector Mirai, and you're listening to Faith and Fandom 180 on LTN Radio. So I recently finished a graphic novel called Do a Powerbomb. It's an eclectic, interesting book where a young professional wrestler basically enters a Mortal Kombat tournament with fighters from other dimensions on the opportunity to be able to bring back her deceased mother. And as the story progresses, the big plot twist climax of the story is that to proceed, she has to wrestle God. Now, being the pastor in me, first turning these pages and seeing this, I'm like, okay, how blasphemous is this? How wrong is this concept or whatever? But, reality, Scripture shows us that this was something that, took place for even less than, bringing back a loved one. In Genesis chapter 32, verse 26, we see this moment where Jacob has been separated from his family. He's about to be reunited with Esau. He's trying to bring his family back together, and God shows up to wrestle him. And it's one of those things where I've heard of it as it was an angel or things, but literally, if you open up a copy of God's Word, the headline of that section, beginning in verse 22, literally says Jacob wrestles with God. But as this is going on, Jacob's in this process of holding on to this person who is just latched up with him, and Jacob isn't doing great. Like, his hip gets dislocated. But then in verse 26, it says this: Then the man said, "Let me go, for the dawn is breaking." But Jacob said, "I will not let you go unless you bless me." And Do a Powerbomb, the main character is willing to go through anything to get her mom back. And Jacob realizes that he is face to face with God, and he's like, "I'm not letting go until you bless me." For some of us, we desire things in our lives. We want things. We ache for things, but not enough to actually stick through the process of holding on to ask. We want to basically like slide in God's DMs and say, please give me something, bye. But sometimes for the stuff that really matters, we're going to have to wrestle to get to it. We're going to have to hold on through the pain, through the endurance, to be able to get to the blessing at the end. If you'd like to learn more about Faith and Fandom, head on over to faithandfandom.org, where you can learn about our Comic-Con ministry, podcast, memes, apparel, and book series. You can even read new chapters before they make it to the next book. I'm Hector Mirai, and thank you for spending the last 180 seconds with me.
Welcome back to Rise and Shine Nerds, LTN's official weekly nerdy news show. I'm Radio Matt.
And I'm Daedra.
To wrap up the show today, we want to dive into a bit of nostalgia. We got a few nerdy things that we love celebrating anniversaries this coming week.
Ooh.
For instance, on this day, on this Monday, in 2012, Disney bought Lucasfilm.
Oh, wow.
And started a new running start at Star Wars, which has been hit or miss. When it hits good. Mandalorian. We haven't seen Ahsoka yet, but I've heard nothing but good things.
Yeah, we need to watch that.
Rogue One. Rogue One was a great movie. The last season of the animated Clone Wars was an exciting thing. The Force Awakens was largely received positively, even though it was heavy on nostalgia itself to, get that positive reaction. Not great. The other two main movies in the sequel trilogy. Solo wasn't great. It had some moments.
Liked it.
It had some moments, but it wasn't great. Obi-Wan was okay.
I don't recall that one.
It wasn't, I mean, I'm not sure it needed to exist, but it was all right. And then Indiana Jones, also a part of Lucasfilm. They should have just left that alone.
Yeah. I don't even know that I've seen all the original Indiana Jones.
No? Mm-mm. The first three are worth it, I think.
Yeah.
The fourth one, not so much. And the fifth one, definitely no.
I just know snakes. Why'd it have to be snakes?
Snakes. Why did it have to be snakes? Yeah. On November 2nd, 2001, Monsters, Inc. came out. We talked about that movie a few weeks ago. G-rated movie.
Shouldn't be.
I don't think so. It's about scaring children for fuel, and the whole bad guy plot at the end is like literally let's kidnap kids,
Right.
strap them into this machine that sucks out their screams.
Yeah.
That's terrifying behavior. But
But it's cute.
we got put that thing back where it came from, or so help me. So help me, and cut.
And we got Boo.
Boo.
Yeah.
It was a good movie. I like that. I like the sequel too. It's rare that you get a prequel like that that's also really good.
Yeah.
It's really good.
I liked it. I liked the callback to, the bad guy from the first movie being a nerd in the second movie.
I liked it. Then also on November 2nd, but in 2012, Wreck-It Ralph came out.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and say it. Best video game movie ever, in my opinion.
Goodness.
Love that movie so much.
It is very good.
So good. Second sequel? No, not so good. Not so great. Really gross. Terrible.
Oh, gosh.
Terrible,
Here we go again.
terrifying, skin-crawling giant at the end.
I watched it and I
Skin-crawling
was like,
zombie giant. If you watch it for the first time on television, it's not a big deal. If you are sitting 10 feet from the screen with a 4-year-old who loves the first movie and is just watching this hollow eyes, we're like, he's just,
oh my gosh.
like, it's okay. Do we need to leave? Yeah, we need to leave. And we left. Didn't even get to see the end of that movie for like 2 years. Never want to watch it again.
Oh, goodness.
Had some great moments. The moment with Penelope and the Disney princesses, adorable. But no, ruined it with the ending.
Oh, gosh.
November 3rd, 2017, Thor Ragnarok, which I just
Okay.
rewatched. Still
Yeah.
the best Thor movie.
Yeah.
Such a good time. So fun. So funny. Loved it. There's actually a lot more that came out this week of things that you and I personally like.
Yep.
But I don't want to ruin all of them. So on the list, make sure you catch up every day at lovethynerd.com/nerdhistory, the Love Thy Nerd YouTube channel, or you can even subscribe to the audio version of Today in Nerd History from Love Thy Nerd. And every day we bring you a little message about
What happened?
cool things in nerd culture that happened on that day in history. So check it out. lovethynerd.com/nerdhistory. Nerd history, the article version there has like more nerdy facts and stuff. Like you get the most bang for your buck, which it's all free, but you get your most nerdy history there at lovethynerd.com/nerdhistory. We hope that you have a fantastic day. We thank you so much for making Rise and Shine Nerds a part of it. Catch us every Monday on YouTube, LTN Radio, or subscribe on your favorite podcast app.
Catch up on all 47 episodes of the show before this one at lovethynerd.com/rise and shine.
And tell us what you think of the show via our socials at Rise and Shine LTN on Facebook and Twitter. Once again, I'm Radio Matt.
I'm Daedra.
And as always, a reminder,
Jesus loves you, nerds.